The grand ballroom was filled with white roses and soft golden light. Everything looked perfect to perfect Claire. Whitmore stood in the bridal suite, adjusting her veil for the third time. She was 28 years old, and this was supposed to be just another job. She was an actress, not a famous one, the kind who took whatever work came her way to pay rent in the city. 3 weeks ago, her agent called with an unusual offer. A wealthy man needed someone to pose as his bride for a family. Wedding his grandmother was ill. She had one dying wish: to see him married before she passed. The family gathering was planned. The venue was booked. But his fiancée had left him suddenly. He could not bear to break his grandmother's heart, so he hired Claire. The pay was generous, $20,000 for 1 day of pretending. She had agreed immediately that money would change everything for her now. Standing in this beautiful gown, she felt strange. The dress fit perfectly, because he had insisted on having it custom-made. The flowers were her favorite, though she never told him that every detail felt deeply personal, yet none of it was real. A soft knock came at the door. It is time. Claire took a breath and walked toward her fake wedding. The ceremony space took her breath away. Chandeliers sparkled overhead. Guests filled elegant chairs, and there at the altar stood Jonathan Pierce. He was 35, with dark hair touched with gray at the temples. When she first met him, she expected someone cold, someone who would treat this like a business transaction. But Jonathan had been kind, even gentle. He asked about her life, her dreams. He listened like her words mattered now. As she walked down the aisle, his eyes met hers. Something in his gaze made her heart flutter. She reminded herself, this was acting, just acting. The officiant began speaking. Claire barely heard the words. She was too aware of Jonathan standing beside her, his hand warm as it held hers when it came. Time for the vows. Jonathan turned to face her. Fully, his voice was steady, but his eyes held something deeper. Claire Elizabeth Whitmore, from the moment I met you, my world shifted. You brought light into places I had forgotten existed. You made me remember what it feels like to hope. Claire felt her breath catch. He was a good actor, too. She delivered her rehearsed lines. Words about love and partnership and forever, words that felt more true than she wanted them to. Then the officiant smiled. You may kiss your bride. Jonathan leaned close, his lips near her ear, his whisper so soft only she could hear. Claire, this is not fake. None of this is fake. I know I should have told you sooner, but I fell in love with you in this wedding. It is real. Every document is legal. Every word I spoke was true. If you want to walk away after today, I will understand, but I needed you to know. My heart is yours whether you want it or not. Claire froze. Her mind raced. This could not be happening. But as she looked into his eyes, she saw the truth there. The vulnerability, the hope, the fear. She thought about the past 3 weeks, the way he had brought her coffee, exactly how she liked it. The way he remembered small things she mentioned in passing, the way he looked at her when he thought she was not watching. She thought about her own heart, how it had started beating differently around him. How she had caught herself imagining what it might be like if this were real. The guests were waiting. The moment stretched. Jonathan's hand trembled slightly in hers. Claire made a choice. She leaned forward and kissed him. Not like an actress playing a part, but like a woman who had just discovered something precious. When they pulled apart, she whispered, "Back then, we better make this marriage work, because I think I fell in love with you too." Jonathan's face transformed, relief and joy flooding his features. He kissed her again. This time the guests applauded, but Claire barely heard them at the reception. Jonathan's grandmother approached in her wheelchair. Her eyes were bright despite her illness. She took Claire's hand in her fragile one. "My dear girl, I need to tell you something. This wedding, Jonathan told me it was arranged. He thought he was protecting my feelings, but I have known my grandson his whole life. I saw the way he looked at you in those photos he showed me. That was not the look of a man playing pretend. I told him if he did not tell you the truth before this wedding, I would real love is too rare to waste on pride or fear." Claire felt tears gather. You knew. The grandmother smiled. "I am old, but I am not blind. Love has a sound all its own, and I heard it in every word he spoke about you. Now do not waste another moment. Life is shorter than you think. And love is the only thing we take with us when we go." That night, as the last guests departed, Claire and Jonathan stood alone on the terrace. The city lights sparkled below them. "So what happens now?" Claire asked. Jonathan took her hand. "Now we do This the right way we date. We learn each other, we build something real. I know I did this backward. I know I should have been honest from the start, but I have never been more certain of anything. I want to spend my life earning your trust. Earning your love. Claire looked at this man who had risked everything on a gamble of the heart. Her grandmother's time, people believed in love at first sight, believed in taking chances. They believed that sometimes the heart knows before the mind catches up. Maybe they were right. She squeezed his hand. We are already married. We might as well make it a good one. They both laughed. It was the sound of two people who had stumbled into something unexpected. Something true. Years later, Claire would tell this story differently each time. Sometimes she focused on the romance, sometimes on the risk, but always she ended the same way. The best things in life often come disguised as something else. You just have to be brave enough to see them for what they truly are. Love is not always convenient. It is not always expected, but when it is real, when it is right, it is worth every moment of uncertainty. Jonathan and Claire built a beautiful life together. They had 2 children they celebrated anniversaries with laughter about their unconventional beginning, and they never forgot that sometimes the greatest love stories start with someone taking a leap of faith. Claire's acting career took off in unexpected ways, but her greatest role was never on stage. It was standing beside a man who loved her enough to risk everything and choosing to love him back with the same courage, the same faith, the same hope that had brought them together in the first place. If this story reminded you that love can surprise us at any moment, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Share your own story of unexpected love, because the world needs more reminders that real connection still exists and that taking a chance on love is always worth it.